Finally, someone gets it, and finally, someone said it. It was the head coach of the Sun, Stephanie White, the Connecticut Sun, after they eliminate the Indiana Fever. And for the proper context, it must be pointed out that Sun star Alyssa Thomas was on the podium and called out Indiana Fever fans. I mean, she said Indiana Fever. She called them out directly while at the podium and talked about some of her experiences this year with the Connecticut Sun.
From each tip off to the final whistle, the Sun have been locked in, professional, and taking care of business. What does it say to the professionality of this team that you've been able to shut out the noise?
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And yeah, there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. And basketball is headed in a great direction, but nah, we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us racial names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done. Whether it's them checking their fans or this league checking, there's no time for it anymore.
Well, look, I mean, I agree with the general premise, which is that it's unacceptable and nobody should be subjected to it. I mean, how could anybody disagree with it? Hateful, garbage, toxic nonsense. No one should have to deal with it. The part of the comments from Thomas that I would push back on are one, again, labeling Fever fans that way when some of that stuff is clearly not from Fever fans. It's from bad actors trying to stir up engagement around knowing that this is a thing. And then the other aspect of it is something needs to be done about it. I'm not sure what can possibly be done about it. Caitlin Clark herself stood in front of the cameras and condemned it as it should be condemned. But I thought her coach gave a very poignant answer when she was asked about it a little bit later. This was Stephanie White. I have these videos from Noah Dalzell up on X, and this is part of what Stephanie White had to say.
There's been a lot of commentary around this series, and she talks about racial remarks she's received this year and how she's never experienced that in her 11-year career. And I just wanted to know, Dejanay also posted earlier in her Instagram an email, a really offensive email that someone sent to her, coaching this team and what the players have had to experience. I just wonder if you have any thoughts or comments on what they've had to go through, and also on Alyssa's call for the league to potentially step in and do something about it.
Yeah, I think it's sport is a microcosm of life and of society. And I think right now, not right now, but we've seen a lot of racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia throughout the course of our country. Sport is no exception, and it's unacceptable, to be quite honest. I think the thing that frustrates me the most is that, and is that I say we because I work in television as well, but we in the media have to do a better job of not allowing trolls in social media to become the story. And I feel like we have allowed trolls in social media to frame the narrative of what the story is. And it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And we have to do a better job. I realize that, everybody's job is predicated on what's read, what's clicked on, what's whatever, what's watched. I understand that. But I also feel like we have a responsibility to be better when it comes to what we're representing, when it comes to, I don't want to say protecting, because these women don't need protected, but when it comes to making sure that that the narrative is about what we do. And it's not about who's being attacked, how they're being attacked, and we make that newsworthy. I applaud our team for maintaining their professionalism. Not just our team; it's a lot of teams in our league.
So you get the point of what she's saying, and I think she's absolutely correct. Look, the people who are filling up the stands and the people who are setting record ratings are not the people sending these messages and doing this hateful garbage in mass, right? It's not the same. And there's so many positive stories about the WNBA. What Caitlin Clark did this year was a remarkable once in a lifetime thing. The growth of the league. I saw the ratings the other day for the games that weren't Clark games. They outdid the NBA Finals. The Storm and the Aces game outdid the NBA Finals from last year. And, I think White's comments go for some of the legacy WNBA media and for sure some of the influencer types on social media who have tried to hijack the conversation. When it comes to the Fever fans and the Clark extremists, the ones who attack the players, unacceptable, or go at people like, who are commenting on what's going on and make everything out to be as if it's some nefarious plot. That's garbage. And then on the other side of it, like everything that's a basketball commentary is racist now. Like it's too much. It's too much. And we cannot just keep giving it life over and over again. And I bear a responsibility as somebody who content creates to not sensationalize and not dive into this stuff as if it is the topic du jour rather than what's happened on the court. And that's something I think anybody who's watched me has seen me make a really valiant effort to do. But valiant maybe I'm giving myself a little credit, but you know what I mean. A concerted effort to do. And that's the thing. You can't just we can't keep feeding these trolls. That's what's giving them the power, is being fed. And you cut off their food, nobody can hear them. Nobody can pay attention to. And I understand for the women who are involved, like they shouldn't have to see that, of course, full stop. Again, a million times. But you can't make that representative of an entire fan base. I've interacted with too many Fever fans to allow that to just go unchecked myself, right? Those comments should not go unchecked that these women are receiving. The way that Fever fans have been labeled should not go unchecked. And basically, we should check the entire conversation. Because every time I try to talk about basketball, it goes somewhere else. Every time I see other people try to talk about basketball, it goes somewhere else. Maybe this can help. Hell, maybe the Fever getting eliminated in an off season helps in that sense, because everybody can sort of let the air out of the room and regroup when it comes to appreciating what Caitlin Clark brought to the league, what the Fever bring as an entertaining basketball team. Absence makes the heart grow fonder and all that. And hopefully the Fever fans who came in can support the rest of the league and watch the Liberty and the Aces, which I think is going to happen. I think you'll see more people than last year watch this year, even if less people watch overall with Clark out. But again, you can't control what these people do. You can't control the trolls. You can't control the trolls, and they certainly shouldn't be framing the conversation. So kudos to the Connecticut Sun coach for those comments.